Right now, the market is hitting incredible, all-time highs. But behind the curtain, a top Federal Reserve official is flashing some serious warning signs. So what's the real story? Are we riding a once-in-a-generation AI boom to the moon? Or is this a massive bubble that's just about to pop? In this explainer, we are going to break it all down.
Okay, let's dive right in. On the surface, everything looks fantastic. The market is just shattering records, left and right. But if you peel back a layer or two, you start to see some things that should definitely get your attention.
Just look at this. The Dow Jones just blasted past 49,000. That's a level nobody has ever seen before in history. And it's not just the Dow either. The S&P 500, which, gives us a much broader picture of the whole market, it also hit a new record high. That tells us this strength is pretty widespread. And of course, the tech-heavy NASDAQ is right there with them, hitting its own new record. So the feeling out there is just pure euphoria. But this is exactly where things start to get really interesting. So while the market is celebrating, a top Federal Reserve official, Stephen Marin, comes out and warns that the economy is actually in trouble and needs a major rate cut to the tune of 100 basis points. So what gives? How can the market be booming if the economy is supposedly struggling so much? So what is really going on here? Well, the market is basically caught in this giant tug-of-war between two incredibly powerful and completely opposite forces. On one side, you have the AI revolution. And let's be clear, this is no longer just some far-off idea. It is happening right now. NVIDIA is dropping new products. Memory stocks are just soaring. But on the other side of the rope, there's this huge cloud of uncertainty about the economy, with big debates happening at the Fed and a really critical jobs report just around the corner. And this massive conflict is creating a very clear split in the market, with some very obvious winners and some very obvious losers. The contrast here is just, wow, it's night and day. Money is just pouring into anything related to AI. SanDisk is up a staggering 23%, Micron's up 10%, but at the same time, the more traditional sectors, like energy, are actually losing ground. This split is happening even within the tech world. You've got NVIDIA, which is seen as the leader of this whole AI revolution. Some analysts are seriously talking about it being worth $6 trillion. At the same time, you've got Tesla, which is struggling with competition, and one analyst just slapped a price target of just $80 on it. Two tech giants heading into totally different directions. So with the market being pulled apart like this, what should you as an investor actually do? How do you navigate this kind of tricky environment? Well, if you're a short-term trader, the name of the game right now is caution. It is probably a really good idea to take some of those profits from your AI stocks off the table, and you definitely want to reduce your risk before that jobs report on Friday, because that could cause a whole lot of turbulence. Now, for you long-term investors, the approach is different. It's all about balance. You absolutely want to stay invested in the long-term AI trend, but you also need to protect your portfolio with some solid, high-quality companies. And maybe the most important thing is to have a clear plan for when you're going to reduce risk so you're not making decisions based on emotion when things get rocky. But look, to really succeed when the market is at all-time highs, you need more than just a trading strategy. You need a whole different way of thinking. This is where System 2 thinking comes in. It's a concept from Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman. And it's all about slowing down and using logic, especially when your emotions and all the hype around you are telling you to do the exact opposite. This means asking yourself some pretty tough questions. First off, forget the hype for a second. Can you logically, rationally justify the current value of your portfolio? Next, you've got to stress test your plan. Is it built to survive a major market downturn, or is it only designed for the good times? Because a solid plan has to work in all kinds of weather. And finally, this is probably the most important question of all. Do you have an exit strategy? Is it written down? Because a clear, pre-written plan is your absolute best defense against making a really costly mistake in a moment of panic. The big takeaway here is that the market is always changing. It's like the Red Queen said, you have to run as fast as you can just to stay in one place. The strategy that worked yesterday is not guaranteed to work tomorrow. Understanding this market isn't a one-and-done thing. It's a process that never stops. This analysis gives you an edge today, but that edge only lasts if you keep learning. Making this kind of analysis a regular part of your routine, that is what separates successful investors from everyone else. Keep watching to stay ahead of the curve.